Hi ladies, we are doing a shoulder and hip flow today to try and loosen up our rotational joints in our shoulders and our hips, starting off with some side stretches through the neck. Don't pull too hard on the side or the back of the head here, just breathing out as you feel those muscles release. By placing the other hand behind the back, that does increase the stretch through the neck and shoulders and chest somewhat. Gently is the best approach. Clasp the hands together. Place them gently on the back of the head, and as you exhale, draw your chin slowly down your chest. You will feel a little release in the back of the neck there, underneath the head, and pull the elbows back on this one to increase the chest stretch. Try and squeeze the shoulder blades together as you lift your chest. Take your time, moving slowly through all of these releases. Support the elbow and try and reach over the back of the shoulder. Get the elbow high. Stretch out through the fingertips for a bit of energy in the arms, and float the elbow over the head, reaching as far down the back of your top as you can. Float the other arm behind you. See if you can grab on with your fingertips. You might find one side is a little more mobile than the other. Just repeating on the other arm. Float the arm over. Exhale as you reach down your top, and try to grab a hold of your fingertips with the other hand, working on internal and external rotation of our glenohumeral joint, which is known as the shoulder. Clasp the hands together, reaching through, stretching the upper back, drop the head, increasing the weight of the stretch. Pull the hands back behind you again, squeeze those shoulder blades together. This time reach a little further forward so you feel it in the low back. Big breath out, lift the chest, let the chin fall up. And last one, big stretch forward, as far forward as you can into a flat back position. That'll increase the hamstring stretch, and as far back as you possibly can, mobilizing our spine for some of the mat work we're going to do. Let's open the hips. It's a very narrow lunge stance. Tuck your bottom back onto your back of your leg. Squeeze tight through the glute. Draw the tummy in, lift the chest. Same arm as the back leg, float it over the front leg. Make a bracelet around the wrist and gently pull over that front leg. Place both hands down, tuck the toe under. If you can't manage a straight leg, just keep the knee on the floor. Do your best with the rotation towards the roof with the opposite hand. Draw your tummy in for support, and moving slowly through all of these movements, hinging back through the hips, gently pulling on the toe or the ankle or the calf, whatever you can reach, extending through the back of the knee. We're going to do the other side now. So it's a narrow lunge stance. Tuck the tail under, squeeze the buttocks, lift the chest, slightly shear forward. You should be feeling at least a 5 out of 10 stretch in the front of the hips. Same arm as the back leg reaches over. Make a bracelet around the wrist, increasing the stretch. Keep the chest lifted. Place the hands down, looking up towards the roof, extending through the back knee if you can. It's a very strong hip stretch here. If you need to, you can keep the knee on the ground. And hinging the hips back. Trying to get a little stretch in the back of the knee, in the popliteal muscle and the hamstrings, also the calf. There will be a little bit of low back involvement as well. Coming down safely onto the knees, into the child's pose, lumbar release. Thumbs are pointing towards the ceiling, dropping the head, just breathing into your belly and your low back. Increasing the curves through the spine. We're going through one extreme to the other with the cat and cow stretch. Scooping up through the belly and lifting the chin. Scooping up through the belly and lifting the chin. Coming down gently onto our front. The elbows are directly under the shoulders. We're going to loosen through the neck a little more. Semicircles across the chest. Drawing your chin in a semicircle across the chest. And noticing both hip bones are pressing evenly into the mat. Extending through one arm, gently with this one. Be careful of your low back. And up through both arms, looking all the way up. A good abdominal stretch. Drop the head, bend the knee. This is a quadricep release. Keep pressing the hip bones into the mat. You can lower down onto the mat and then try to come up to increase the stretch. Again, all the way up through the chest, both arms extended. That's a big stretch. Drop the head as you bend the knee. Lower the body if you need to. And then try and come up to increase the stretch. Well done. And extend through both arms again to finish. Push up through your hands and knees and back into a lumbar release. So that's the mobility part finished. We're going to go into a little bit of glute activation. Kicking the knee up. It's a very controlled movement. Keep the low back straight. Try not to bend it or curve it. Squeezing the glute into the hamstring. Get the heel up high. Lead up with the heel. We're looking for 10 reps. Imagine that you're resting a hot cup of tea on your low back and you don't want to spill any of the hot liquid, so you're keeping your low back very still. Kicking out through the toe, this is a hamstring effort. Keep the leg high so your glute is squeezing into your hamstring. Watch the low back. This is a little challenge if you can keep the leg high and sweep it around to the side. You may need to move the hips a little to accommodate for that rotation in the hip joint. But try and keep the hip high. It's quite difficult. Very focused rotations into the hip with our hip cars, controlled articular rotations. This is excellent for hip health. You will really feel the side gluteal muscle working. And we're going into the other side, starting off with a low back stretch. And we're going to extend the leg up behind us in a little kick, leading up with the heel. So you can simply go onto the other leg, using the same cues, keeping the low back still, squeezing the glute, nice and controlled with the pace. Draw the tummy in, keep that low back flat. Try not to curve it or arch it too much. We're looking for stability in the lumbar spine and the pelvis at the same time, and squeezing the heel towards the glute as you work into the hamstrings, integrating the hamstrings and glutes in full hip extension here. Well done. Aim to keep the knee in line with the hip as you sweep it to the side. This is tough. 10 repetitions is what we're aiming for. Should be feeling it by now. And rotating through the hip joint. The knee goes out to the side, up, around, and back into the starting position, taking it to the side first. Get the knee as high as you can. Great work. Well done, and stretch the low back off again. Coming onto our knees with a band, shoulder height, leading with the thumbs to the sides, squeezing all the way past our peripheral vision. Keep the tempo, the same tempo out and in. Don't let the band control you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift your chest. Open your chest. Feel the muscles between the shoulder blades working. It's about shoulder height the whole way. You might see that I pull my hands down a little bit at the end range. And we are taking the shoulders through full circumduction using the band, which is a little more gentle than using the stick. It will also help strengthen lots of intrinsic muscles around the shoulder joint. Very much a mobility and stability movement at the same time. Coming onto your side, make sure your supporting elbow is directly under your shoulder. You need a little bit of the band here, anchoring one end with the supporting arm. Super glue your elbow into your side on the moving arm. And keep the chest open as you try to pull your hand to your side. We are working our rotator cuff muscles for about 10 repetitions. Again, control the band. Don't let the band control you. You can do more of these if you have any shoulder issues. You might want to do 3 sets of 10. You can pause the video and try to do a couple more repetitions or a few more sets. 3 sets of 10 to 12 is a good number to aim for. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Smoothly and slowly with lots of control. We're nearly finished working on our hip and shoulders for today. If you're experiencing any neck or shoulder tension, try taking a hot shower and letting the heat run onto your trap muscles for a few